Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai, Jai, Jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much, Dharacharya, for going on the Philadelphia organizers. I'm so happy to be here today when you started this program. I hope you will not be bored. We presented to you various aspects of Vietnamese lifestyle. A little bit of history and what we actually do right now, the introduction of our team, as well as Prabhupada's vision for Vietnamese or self-sufficient farming communities. But prior to that, we'll be just reading one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam to just get some inspiration. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Actually, I'm not going to be repeating it all the time limits. I'm just going to read part of the words that I'd like to us to focus on. This is from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 14, in the Family Life, and verses 30 to 34. I'll just be reading the last verse. Ete punyatama desha harer archashritaschaye etam desha nisheveta sheskanohi abhikshnashaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The sacred lakes like Pushkar and places where saintly persons live, like Kurukshetra, Gaya, Priyag, Pulahashram, Naimisharanya, the banks of the Phalgu River, Satchibandha, Pramaz, Dvaraka, Varanasi, Mathura, Pampa, Vindra Sarovar, Badarikashram, and Narayana Ashram, the places where the Nanda River flows, the places where Lord Ramachandra runs the Sita Kshetra, such as Chitrakuta, and also the hill tracts of land known as Mahendra and Malaya. All of these are to be considered most pious and sacred. Similarly, places outside India, where there are centers of Krishna conscious movement, and where Radha Krishna deities are worshipped, must all be visited and worshipped by those who want to be spiritually advanced. One who intends to advance in spiritual life may visit all these places and perform ritualistic ceremonies to get results 1,000 times better than the results of the same activities performed in any other place, purported by His divine grace. In these verses, and in the verse 29, stress is given to one point, Harer Archashritaschaye, or Harer Archa. In other words, any place where the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped by devotees is most significant. The Krishna conscious movement is giving the population of the entire world a chance to take advantage of Krishna consciousness through the ISKCON centers, where one may perform beauty worship and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and in this way obtain results with effectiveness increased 1,000 times. This constitutes the best welfare activity of human society. This was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, as it was predicted by him in Chaitanya 6. Pritavita Achayaka Nagara Nigram Sarvata Prachara Haiva Goranam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted the Hare Krishna movement with installed deities to spread to every village and town in the world, so that everyone in the world might take advantage of this movement and become all auspicious in spiritual life. Without spiritual life, nothing is auspicious. Okasha Moga Karmana Moga Jnana Vichedasha. Bhagavad Gita 9:12. No one can become successful in fruitive activities or speculative knowledge without being Krishna conscious. As recommended in the Shastras, everyone should be very eagerly interested in taking part in Krishna conscious movement and understanding the value of spiritual life. Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Om Jnana Chimam Dasyati Mantra Prashnakti Chakshura Mantam Yena Shri Chaitanya Vishtam Svatam Yena Vitare Sarvata Parakam Tadati Swami. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Bhakta Kanchana Gauranga Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarupuscha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Padaya Krishna Krishna Yukale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyaya Deshkarine. So in this verse, you can see a very interesting, if we read word-to-word translation, which is very important, that's why Prabhupada translated word-to-word also. There's the word Archa Ashritaha. Places where the deity of Radha Krishna is worshipped, such as big American cities like New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and European cities like London and Paris, or wherever there are centers of Krishna consciousness. So this is a very important thing to understand, that wherever the deities are worshipped by devotees, and wherever devotees are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, this place is actually no different to Vrindavan. In 1974 in Melbourne, Srila Prabhupada was giving class. At some point he was saying, "This is not Melbourne, this is Vaikuntha." And all the devotees, "Jai!" And said, "It's not Vaikuntha, it's Vrindavan." And so all the devotees get, of course, more enthusiasm. Because it is indeed so. Srila Prabhupada was traveling all over the world, and through his heart, through chanting Govinda Mara Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, he was installing deities of Radha, Krishna, and Gaurnitai, let them act, let's say, to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. And he's, as pure devotee, he was a carrier of Vrindavan. He was visit activities. And so, of course, we would like to visit Jagannath Puri Dham, Vrindavan Dham. Those are abodes of sweetness, abodes of mercy. But also, you here in Philadelphia has access on a daily basis to Vrindavan Dham. If you come here and chant sincerely, if you help worship the deities of beautiful Shri Radha, Sharad Bihari, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, Gaurnitai, in the presence of Vaishnavas, discussing Krishna Katha, Vrindavan Dham will be manifesting. It only depends on the level of your consciousness, how much Vrindavan will be manifesting. It's already manifesting, but how much it will be manifesting will depend on your level of consciousness. So the more you do it, the more Vrindavan Dham will be present. And as you know, Vrindavan is a place where we aspire to go. It's our home, eternal home. So today, of course, we'd like to present you yet another Vrindavan, which is right around the corner, 2.5 hours drive. This Vrindavan is called Gitanagari Dham. A very special place because, of course, Vrindavan is full of, Vrindavan means forest, forest of Vrinda. And there are different 12 forests of Vrindavan, Talavan, Madhuvan, Kalyavan, Kamyavan, and so forth. And Krishna likes to herd the cows, because he is known as Gopal or Govinda. He gives pleasure to the cows. He's the one who protects the cows. And these are his favorite pets. He says, Go Brahmana Hitaye cha Jagat. He loves cows even more than Brahmanas. Of course, he loves Brahmanas too, but cows have a very, very special place in his heart. And of course, we know in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have wonderful pictures here, as Dharamacharya Prabhu was mentioning. Is there a meeting of Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj? I wonder.
We don't have any. None of
Okay.
that.
There are still empty places to fill, right? So there will be more to come. So when Nanda Maharaj meets Vasudeva in the 5th chapter of 10th canto, Vasudeva is asking Nanda Maharaj, how are the animals? He says Pashu. And Prabhupada, again, in his word-to-word translation, he translates Pashu as cows. Because out of all animals, cows are the most important. So you have to understand the love of Srila Prabhupada for cows. So because he loves Krishna. And he says, there's enough herbs, there's enough plants and water for the animals, namely the cows. Of course, Krishna likes to live where cows are happy, and cows can only be happy where there's a lot of green, lush pasturing grounds and beautiful forests to wander. So this is our Gitanagari Dham. I'll be just quickly introducing you our little family in Gitanagari, and we'll start off with our brothers, little brothers, like animals. So we have Kunti, the goat. Of course, Krishna in Vrindavan, not only he has cows, he has deer, he has goats, he has even dogs. And there's a lot of peacocks who are decorating his turban. You know, Krishna is always wearing peacock feather. The secret meaning of him wearing the peacock feather, apart from that it's a gift by the king of peacocks, is also because the middle of the peacock eye reminds him of Srimati Radharani's blue eyes. This was just a little insight. So meet Kunti the goat. She thinks she's actually a cow. We bought her originally to help us to get rid of weeds, but instead of it, she was eating grass and grains like cows. She looks pregnant a little bit because she thinks she has 4 stomachs as cows, but she's not, but she's very fat. Bhakta Dudu, on the contrary, is a very devoted peacock. He is coming every morning for Mangalarti. Is everybody coming for Mangalarti every morning here? Don't raise your hand, I know you do, okay? Thank you. So Bhakta Dudu, he does that every morning, both for Mangalarti and deity greetings. And then during lunchtime, he knocks with his beak on a dining hall door, demanding Mahaprasadam. Unless you give him Mahaprasadam, he's not satisfied. So those are the transcendental personalities living on our farm. Of course, we have a lot of cows, 90 brown Swiss cows. Most of them are brown Swiss, 95%, some of them are not. But Dasaprem will be speaking more on agriculture side, so I'll just skip further. This is our current team of dedicated devotees. Probably if you've been coming for the last, I don't know, whatever years, at least 4 years, then you will be seeing most of the faces. 3 years, most of us are there, and some of them are new, and all of them are having desire to stay long term. This is a team of 20, which is a residence team, but we also have about 50 devotees in the congregation around Gitanagari Dham. Let me quote just few quotations from Prabhupada, just reminding us how important this other part of transcendental mission of Srila Prabhupada about the farm communities and self-sustainability. So basically from 1974 onwards, Srila Prabhupada would be speaking about self-sufficient farm communities more and more. He did speak about them before, but he starts to stress this point more and more from 1974. You will see that more often in room conversations, morning walks, later chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. So for example here, same chapter I quoted before, 10.5, this is verse 20, part of the purport. Balaram represents plowing the land for agriculture and therefore always carries in his hand a plow, whereas Krishna tends cows and therefore carries a flute in his hand. Thus the 2 brothers represent Krishi Raksha and Gaur Raksha. There's conversation, 27 May 1977. How they were happy, the inhabitants of Vrindavan, with Krishna and living and cows, that I want to introduce. At any cost, do it, produce, make the whole field green. See that, therefore I'm asking so much. Farm, 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 farm. That is not my program, Krishna's program. Anad Bhavanti Bhutani. Produce greeneries everywhere and everywhere. This is a letter to Hari Shari, same year, 1977. This is the next aspect of Krishna consciousness, which I wish to push forward. If I am able to travel again, then I shall visit the farms and make them perfect. On these farms, we can demonstrate the full Varnashrama system. If these farms become successful, then the whole world will be enveloped by Krishna consciousness. Wow, what a great mission, Srila Prabhupada. This is a very important letter to Rupanuga Prabhu, who was at that time GBC for New York area. And as you know, we're also intimately connected with New York, because exactly that year, in December 1974, Gitanagari farm was purchased by New York Temple. Our farm projects, and this letter relates to our farm. Our farm projects are an extremely important part of our movement. We must become self-sufficient by growing our own grains and producing our own milk. Then there will be no question of poverty. So develop these farm communities as far as possible. And right after that, the farm was purchased, after that letter. This is 1975 to Kartikeya Prabhu. Our next program will be to organize farm and land to set up an example to the whole world how people can be peaceful, happy, and free from all anxieties. So let us tell you our story. Gitanagari starts, before that, I'm going to do one video. You can actually look how Srila Prabhupada visited Gitanagari Dham with the Radha Damodar bus party, the famous bus party which was traveling all over the United States for about 6 years. And of course, those deities are actually the main deities that are residing on our farm. We'll see how the sound works. I hope it will work okay.
I was told on the ride down that bus was probably along Cherry Street. And because it just prepared, it's in such first class shape, we were informed that our bus would be used to take Srila Prabhupada, and that I would be the driver, and Mahamuni would be the servant, and Sunanda would be the cook. Now, bro, I was an expert bus driver. Expert. I could pull that bus at any spot, eyes closed. Somehow or other, Prabhupada and all these sannyasis and senior devotees get on the bus, I was like terrified. I was like really hyperly nervous, you know. So we go out of the Lincoln Tunnel. Now, you know, it's a huge curve. And the curve itself, it has a really high cement curve. And somehow or other, the wheel itself, it gets stuck on the curve. I can't turn it to get it off. So the curve is guiding the whole bus. And sparks are flying out. Nobody knows but me, right? And I'm just praying, I said, Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Now, I'm going to kill my guru, sannyasis, the deities, world, the channel. I said, kill me anytime, any way you want. Please don't. Prove I have never, ever, ever experienced fear, anxiety, suffering like that. So I was just praying, trying to hold the bus so that the wheel would veer off to the left. And finally, after about 2 minutes of that just intense, 2 minutes was like an eternity, a few eternities. So finally the bus pulls away. Difference in my life force was dropped on that curve coming out of Lincoln Tunnel.
Srila Prabhupada had been standing looking at the wonderful fields. The devotees were gathered around. There were two fellows who were new devotees, very enthusiastic. They were country boys from not too far away. And they had brought from their own garden a medium-sized basket full of vegetables. And Srila Prabhupada picked up an eggplant out of the basket, and he just held it in his hand as though it were a jewel of some sort. And he held it kind of up and just looked at it. It had a real value, this produce. You can just tell his pleasure was immense. So at some point he spoke about how we should be able to feed the neighboring city temples, supply them with very luscious kinds of fresh foods like this. But not only that, but in time of need, we should be prepared to also produce an abundance sufficient to feed people living in a 10-mile radius.
Prabhupada took a walking tour of the barn or machine area, and Paramahansa was a little bit apologetic because Prabhupada had been to New Taliban a few months ago and chastised them for having farm equipment. But actually they had farm equipment and was standing outside in the weather getting rusty. And Gitanagari had a lot of farm equipment, but everything was very well protected. But Paramahansa was very much self-conscious. So as he was showing Prabhupada the different equipment, he was saying, and this is a disc, and it'll do the work of so many men, and this is a flower, it'll do the work of so many men. And Prabhupada was very silent. But when Prabhupada gave his class later on that evening, he said, it's not that we hate machinery, everything can be used in Krishna's service. He also very much caught our mood that we didn't want to be in the cities. And so when Prabhupada noted that, he commented in his class, it's not that we hate the towns and villages, everything belongs to Krishna. So he saw our mentality, and he cut through it very effectively.
Right. So this reminds me how we have those Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Sorry. This is too early. We'll show it later. So it reminds me how we have those beautiful Srila Prabhupada disciples still living with us in Gitanagari. We have 4 Prabhupada disciples. Actually, the second speaker in this video, Taruni Devi, she still lives there, just across the road from the farm, and they've been there since the beginning since 1974. Tarika Prabhu and Shamagopa Rupa Devi, they got married here in Philadelphia, and Bubrit Prabhu, another Prabhupada disciple, he got initiated in Philadelphia, as far as I remember. Yes, I mentioned she was the second speaker in that video, so they still live there. So, such a beautiful association that we still have. So, so our story, yes, and of course Srila Prabhupada, to the surprise of all devotees, as time unfolded, first when Prabhupada came there in 1976, which you have seen on the video, he named the place New Varshana. As we had New Vrindavan in West Virginia, he named Gitanagari New Varshana first. But then later, he changed the name to Gitanagari. So, devotees just took it, okay, Gitanagari, a place where Gita was sang, But what they found out later is that Srila Prabhupada actually conceived Gitanagari in 1956, 9 years before coming to the United States. He wrote a Gitanagari prophecy, or just an essay, a long essay, where he described an ideal village called Gitanagari. So there's just a little extract from that. The Gitanagari will be therefore the main preaching center of the supreme authority of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. And there's another one. The general people, the beasts and the birds, the reptiles, plants, trees, and all other animals reside in every nook and corner of the great universes. When such knowledge will be fostered from the vantage of the Gitanagari, at that time only real peace and prosperity will usher in the world so anxiously awaited by the people of the world. So Srila Prabhupada, he's had some big plans for Gitanagari. As you know, when he was leaving the body in 1977, he was saying, I would like to go to Gitanagari and to show how to live off the land. Somehow or other, Gitanagari became very quickly a very important project of Srila Prabhupada. When he was traveling his round-the-world trip, the last round-the-world trip that's supposed to be, he wanted to go to England and then to New York. So England was his Western headquarters in Europe. First, Radha Krishna deities, marble deities installed personally by Srila Prabhupada. In fact, stolen by Srila Prabhupada. So it was like a whole story. The Bhaktivedanta Manor donated by George Harrison. So many beautiful things were coming, from London. And of course, it was personal conqueror of the, British Empire in a way of that Krishna conscious movement. So it was personal pride of Srila Prabhupada. And then second was New York, where Hare Krishna movement was started under Hare Krishna tree in Tompkins Square Park and, 2nd Avenue in Meshler's gift store. And where actually the ISKCON Society was registered also in 1966. And then Gitanagari was the third place he wanted to visit. So, a farm that existed a year and a half. By that time he had 50 farms already all over the world. But somehow or other, Gitanagari became so productive in terms of milk and grains, and only New York was getting 400 gallons of milk per week. Can you believe that? That's the capacity that Gitanagari had at that time. So Prabhupada was really fond of that, what was going on in Gitanagari, so there's more historic pictures. And then fourth place, he wanted to visit New Vrindavan. At that time, Gold Palace was already manifesting, and then the last place was Los Angeles, which was BBT headquarters, film productions headquarters, deity worship headquarters, and book distribution headquarters. It was like whole Western headquarters, basically. So when Prabhupada visited Gitanagari, it automatically became a tirtha. So next time you come, please focus your consciousness on that Prabhupada walked the land, you know. He had this vision. He set his like goals for Gitanagari. And a few of those goals we just heard in that presentation where Taruni Devi was saying that it's not, and it's actually next Mataji was saying, it's not that we hate the cities, we can engage them in Krishna consciousness. And it's also not we hate machinery, we can engage that in Krishna consciousness. Provided, and that was his only lecture in Gitanagari in July 1976 when he was saying that if you're able to supply abundance of milk and grains and vegetables for the nearby temples, then yes, use machinery. So those are some milestones for us in Gitanagari. I don't know if you can see, it's probably, try to. So that's when we were established, when Prabhupada visited. There was some sheep at the farm back then, and Satyabhama, temple president's wife, Paramananda Prabhu's wife, she hand knitted the woolen chadar for Prabhupada. And that chadar was on Prabhupada's lotus feet when he was leaving the body in Vrindavan. So, and then it came back to Gitanagari, we still have that chadar, and we give the darshan, open darshan for it on Prabhupada's disappearance day. So, Shri Radha Damodar arrived in 1978, and since then they've been the presiding main deities for Gitanagari Dham. And of course we know that, you know, Radha Damodar always, you know, they're very nice, youthful, or childhood Damodar, you know, 3.5 years old. A lot of childhood pastimes, a lot of interactions with cows. So if you're near cows or serving cows, you'll be able to feel the presence of Radha Damodar very, very much. So please, next time you visit, oops, I don't know what I did. Try to visit cows and somehow others serve them. This is Radha Damodar. So I'll be finishing here and giving the word to Dasi Prem Prabhu. So last thing I wanted to say is that Srila Prabhupada had a whole vision for ISKCON to cooperate as one big family. Hare Krishna, didn't careful. One big family. So this logo that you see, Prabhupada's, devotees made this logo for 50th anniversary in 2016. So actually in that logo, it's very nicely presented all of those Prabhupada's 7 goals. So there's this spiritual education and Krishna consciousness, meaning that everything symbolizes one of those 7 purposes of ISKCON. So, you know, teaching spiritual techniques of the people in general, you know, distributing books, spreading Harinam Sankirtan, having loving exchanges with devotees, building a beautiful city for devotees in Mayapur Dham, and of course the farm communities. The 6th purpose of ISKCON was establishing farm communities, and to achieve that goal, distributing books. So all of those goals are important. They invoke compassion, education, cooperation, enthusiasm, support. It promotes simple living and high thinking, and it of course is enveloped by those loving relationships among devotees. So we are here today to present you one aspect of the 6 purposes of ISKCON, as well as see how this rural and urban connection can be flourishing and manifesting more and more, and so all of you can actually participate in this wonderful, noble Srila Prabhupada's mission to the fullest extent. So now I'll be giving the word to Das Prem Prabhu, and he's part of the presentation. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes, very happy to be here. Prabhu didn't mention, maybe forgot, but yeah, very special place to me, especially because I got initiated from these deities and got the blessings of this community. So yeah, it's always very heartwarming and nostalgic to be back here. So as Venerable Prabhu was saying, yes, this is one of Prabhupada's, one of the petals of this lotus flower, this farming aspect. And so it's very dear to his heart, and as you saw kind of a little bit of the history of Gitanagari, yeah, it's been a very kind of an amazing project to be a part of. And so what we want to offer to everyone today is also how they can be part of Gitanagari. Not that you have to drive there every day, every other day, but what we're offering is a way that everyone can take part in the bountiful blessings that come from the land of Gitanagari. So, as you can see on the screen, besides the psychedelic marigolds, community-supported agriculture, CSA. Has anyone ever heard of this? Yes, okay, good job. Anyone else? No, Mechavinda. I could have guessed she used her. Anyone else? Okay, cool. So a few out there. So CSA is a subscription-based model for purchasing organic, seasonal produce directly from local farmers. So pretty much, I don't know how much people kind of are keeping up with that agriculture news and stuff. But even in India, right, there was these big farm protests. People heard of that? Yeah. So in India, also in the Netherlands, there's was some very violent protests by the farmers. So you can see they all drive their big tractors down the streets and bust through the barricades and stuff. And unfortunately, the world situation is such that with globalization, it's making it harder and harder for farmers to make it nowadays. So in the 1940s in the US, 2/3 of people actually lived on farms, 2/3 of people. Then in the early 2000s, less than 2%. So we can see in 60 years it went from 2/3 to so now they hardly even keep track of that statistic. So yeah, as we know, the government sometimes favors the big corporations and stuff. And so CSA is wonderful because it connects it connects the consumer directly with the producer and cuts out the whole middleman. So you saw a little of the statistics of what we have at Gitanagari, but I don't know if many of you know that actually we have 2 properties now. You guys, in case you didn't know. So just, maybe 10 miles away, we got another 80 acres. It's called Sarabi Kunj. So Sarabi Kunj is the place in Mayapur of Kirtan, so hopefully you can all come do Kirtan there one day. So this is some of the aspects of Gitanagari. 2 properties, 430 acres, 90 cows, 20 plus devotees on site, so much potential, unlimited. So we've been, actually before the cows came, this was the first project that our Dhruva and Parijata, the temple president and his wife, the first project they actually did in Gitanagari was they just got there from their corporate jobs and they just started planting things. And so in 2010, they had a 25-member CSA, and then since then it's scaled up to 115 members. So one thing about CSA is traditionally it's a way that the consumer and the producer kind of share the risks involved in farming. Like we have one volunteer there now, and she was just telling us how when she was working on another farm, she had to spend all day just picking these bugs off the plants. And so, as many of you know, some of you know, especially organic gardening, it's a gamble. You never know what's going to happen, you know. Colorado beetles might come and just take out a whole crop. So traditionally it'd be a way, the CSA model would be a way so that the consumer and the producer would kind of share the risks. But what we have, because we're in Juniata County, which is a big agriculture area, actually, 41% of the land there is actually involved in agriculture. And so what we have is a multi-farm CSA. So even if the Colorado beetles come back, whatever, potato beetles, we love Aljivas, but some not so much. But it doesn't matter. We'll still be able to provide everyone the right amount of vegetables each week. And you can see here, we get lots of our produce from the Amish. So this is a kind of a theme that we want to present through this presentation. It's improve eating habits and decrease grocery bills. So it's a good deal. Here's a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's works. So there you go, Srimad Bhagavatam, even though it's the highest spotless Purana, only talking about the highest transcendental subject matter, still it's saying there that live a healthy life, And Prabhupada said also, right? Health, sadhana, service. So health is very important. So some of the benefits from Gita Nagari is that, it's all grown by devotees, produced by devotees, like that. So it's a way you can be sure that what you're getting is a very pure product. So, whereas, if you look at the screen here, you can see some FDA recalled products since 2017. I'm sorry if some of your favorites are on the screen here. I'm sorry, but it's the unfortunate reality. So this is the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, and pretty much they recall products if they find that they're unhealthy. So here's some brands: Wegmans, Meijer, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. Sometimes the foods aren't so whole, even from Whole Foods. And reasons for recall: undeclared milk, salmonella, listeria. It's like you're back in chemistry class hearing some of this. But pretty much, you can get sick from a lot of these items. Undeclared eggs, undeclared eggs. Yep. So I know many of us have heard also, right, in the news about the E. coli breakouts, salmonella breakouts, like that. And so, it's one thing you might think, okay, I won't buy like some granola bars, that might be more risky. But we might not think there's such a risk involved with just buying vegetables. But actually, we can see that even like here you can see from romaine lettuce. I don't know if you can read that, but in 2018 there was 2010 case count, 5 deaths and 96 hospitalizations from romaine lettuce. So that's interesting karma to have to go down from romaine lettuce. And the CDC, the Center of Disease Control, of course, it's a household name now because of COVID. So the CDC used to say that just wash your vegetables very nicely, because the thing is they come from foreign countries where the water quality is not so good. So just wash your vegetables very nicely, and that'll take care of the problem. But then what they found out is actually, even if you wash the vegetables nicely, perfectly, the contaminants have actually entered into the vegetables. So, Hare Krishna, it's a unfortunate situation. And so that's why we want to produce, we want to offer very pure produce, grown on our farm, only fertilized with cow dung, and all are we're actually certified organic. A little bit about pesticides. Lots of harmful effects from pesticides. I'm sure most of you know about that. And as Venom Madeira just reminded me, we don't use pesticides. It's all organic. So some other scary statistics. On average of 2,000 acres of farmland are converted each day. So a more recent statistic was that each day in America, 3,500 acres of farmland are converted into whatever, shopping malls, housing developments, things like that. Okay, so those are some kind of scary facts, and now we'll play a little happy video to cheer you guys all up. I think I'll just give it to you to kind of end. No. So that was actually made by one of our temple brahmacharis. He also makes bowls. If anyone's interested in very nice exotic bowls, he makes those. And as you can see, he makes wonderful videos. Okay, so after those scary stats, you can see that on our farm, it's nice and joyful and clean and all that. So CSA, this whole model it gives hope for the future, because like I said, cuts out the middleman, cuts out the government, cuts out the corporations, and just connects the consumer directly with the producer. So another thing is that, as you saw, this farming actually was so dear to Prabhupada. Actually, one quote Prabhupada said, chant, 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 plant, plant, plant. So so many little quotes like this that he was very adamant. And His Holiness Devamrita Swami says how Prabhupada was stressing this, and if only we would have taken it more seriously, this whole organic sustainability effort, then we would actually be the forerunners, the acharyas, you could say, in this regard. Because now you see it's it's becoming more and more popular. So this is a way how what we're doing is we're going to temples and offering a way that people can take part, and instead of your money going to Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, it can go to one of Prabhupada's missions. So you can see there, we're using the most up-to-date growing method, so it's called minimal till. So it's very good for the soil, preserving the soil for generations to come. How healthy are your vegetables? Well, you can see here that, I don't know, if in case you don't know, the length between harvesting and consumption of vegetables, you can actually lose nutrients from that. So you can see green beans, they lose 45% of nutrients from if they're consumed between 11 and 15 days after. So that's why they say fresh produce, eat fresh produce. And of course, it's not all nutrients, it's only some nutrients. Okay, so here we go. So our pricing is, we're guaranteeing 15 to 20 pounds per week. And yeah, about 7 to 10 types of vegetables. And my service going to Gitanagari, even though I'd never cooked before, I was one of the main deity cooks. So I kind of knew what to grow. I know grow chili peppers, grow cilantro, grow tomatoes, grow the cauliflower, grow the potatoes. I know the things that kind of our devotees like to eat and cook because I've done so much cooking now. And the pricing comes out to $36 a week. And the season goes from June 4th to October 29th, so 22 weeks. So how it'll work is pretty much every Sunday, just like how you guys get the milk, similarly the vegetables will come here, they'll have your name on them. So when you come to the Sunday feast, yeah, you can take your milk, you can take your prasadam, and then you can take your vegetables also. And a full share is 800 and half share is 450. And then, yeah, and a little incentive because we do need to start like planting things and stuff. So a little incentive to sign up quicker is that, after April 16th, the time will go up a little. How much longer do we have?
You have 5 minutes. So
Okay. Okay. So like I said, 36 a week. And if that sounds like a lot, it's actually not a lot. So what I did is I went to the Whole Foods website and I looked at the organic vegetables. I got the first 10 vegetables that we were also going to produce, and I averaged out how much it was. How much it was per pound, and it came out to $2.76. And you can see our average, at that rate is $2 a pound. So we undercut even Whole Foods. And like I said, this is the benefit of just going directly to the producer. So this is a list of the vegetables. Can you see that? So you can see okra, hot peppers, eggplant, tomato, chard, corn, Loki. Any Loki fans out there? Any bitter melon fans? Okay. Okay, cool. And Prabhupada actually, so the thing is it's all seasonal also, and Prabhupada said that, there's a quote from the Nectar Devotion, Prabhupada saying, "One should not fail to offer fresh fruits and grains to Krishna according to the season." That's Nectar Devotion, chapter 8. So this is a nice, cool team we had a few summers ago. So share the wealth and show your support to this very important pillar of Srila Prabhupada's Grand Master Plan for giving Krishna consciousness to the whole world. So you can see, we can all be part of the puzzle. We can all play our part. So thank you very much for listening. I'll give it to Venamadira Prabhu for some closing words.
So I would just like to summarize what we just heard today. So of course, one part is this missionary part, the visionary part of Srila Prabhupada, how for us to cooperate together, the cities and the farms. The other part is just, we are thinking of your well-being and benefit. You saw in the presentation how much nutrition the produce is losing as days go by. I was working in New Zealand and Hamburg Süd shipping line. I know that those Granny Smith beautiful apples that gets to you in America, it takes them a year to get to here. And they stored in those atmosphere modified, temperature controlled, areas and warehouses for months and months before they actually ship them here. So actually, how much nutrition they still have? You know, an apple that was a year harvested. So here, locally grown in Pennsylvania, we can deliver vegetable to your table from 24 hours to 3 days maximum. That's how fast we harvest and deliver. So, and of course our soil is full of nutrients. When Paramananda and Devaki Nandana Prabhu, they were buying the land, they were farmers by designation, so they knew this soil has nutrients. Because many farms, they actually have marshland, sand, rocks, whatever, but not the fertile soil. So we have a treasure right here 2.5 hours away from us for you to supply a fresh food. So just think about it and use this opportunity. We have a table outside which will be operating for the next hour or so, even maybe a little more. So you can stop by before Prasad and during Prasad, after Prasad. You can sign up today. If you do sign up today, we have a little bonus for you. You'll get a free honey. Also on the Gitanagari farm, we have our own beehives. We have about 30 beehives. So we have wonderful organic, we don't certify it as organic, but it is organic because we don't use any chemicals on the farm. So the bees get in pollen from all the flowers from our fields. And you can have a nice honey added to your CSA share also, but today is a gift to you. You can also buy it, but I mean, for those who will sign up for a share, today you can have it. You can have it for $800 or $450 depending on your capacity or your family. If you sign up for full share and it's too much for you, you can donate something to the temple. You can share with a friend. You can make nice smoothies. You can freeze vegetables also for the, for the winter, your favorite veggies. There's so many things to do with vegetables. So, and fruits also. You'll get fruits also in that basket. Proportionally, probably 70% veggies and 30 fruits. So please use this opportunity. Please support Gitanagari Dham. Please support our project to develop further, the cows and so forth. It all incorporates in one package. And enjoy the beautiful fruits and veggies grown by devotees, used only with cow dung and a little bit of chicken manure for nitrogen and kalium. And there you go. You have a beautiful lunch for your deities or the deities in the temple. And I would like to finish with a little video that I made specifically for you, just so you know how we live in Gitanagari. I'm afraid that YouTube will give me first the 5 seconds advertisement, which can happen. So just bear in mind that this Maya may attack us. This is our team spreading straw for the beautiful herd of retired cows and oxen. And there's a mutual effort to spread the straw. And the cows, of course, are very, very happy. Like you see Georgia here, for example. They just love swimming in this straw. The more straw, the better. It brings joy, and comfort, and health. It's just a fun thing to do. When they are out in the pasturing grounds, Vishaka here with Bahula are just enjoying a good relaxation therapy. Not only humans like Kalkandi, but cows like Kalkandi amongst themselves also. So you can see Vishaka here is just in total ecstasy and samadhi, rubbing off the Bahula's back. Not only cows, sometimes we see a beautiful deer as part of life in Vrindavan. And no wonder Bharat Maharaj was attracted to this beautiful creature. So much so that he eventually had to become a deer himself. Yes, so this is life in Gitanagari. Beautiful scenery, the real Vrindavan atmosphere of peace and tranquility. Because of Baba Damodar's presence of devotees, the atmosphere and cows, the atmosphere of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada ki, Santarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much.
To thank Venu Viduriya Prabhu and Dasya Prem Prabhu for this very nice presentation. Give us some insight on what's happening at the Dome and how we can participate and benefit from it. Maybe mentioned there's a table outside. If you have any questions, you can stop by, talk to them, and find out if you can sign up for the CSA. If you are interested in getting milk and you don't already have milk, get milk from Gita Nagari. You can stop by the front desk as well and see how you can sign up for that. Now we'll have kirtan and arti, and afterwards we'll have Sadal Prashad. Hare Krishna.